everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I'm going to be sharing something new with you. I have actually two in one, I believe, in this little brown box from Beads to Live By. These are their new curated collections, which is a brand new monthly subscription. And you know how I love sharing new bead boxes and things as I find out about them. This is their first ever launch, and they've got two different things you can choose from: a seed bead subscription right now and a curated button collection that they will ship out on a monthly basis. I'll tell you more about each as we go through them, but in the meantime, I'll leave the link for the subscriptions right down below the video so you can find out all the details there if you're interested in signing up. Not only can you find these subscriptions that have just launched on Beads to Live By's website, but you can also find other items like check glass beads in their shop. You can find patterns and more, and they do plan to come out with project ideas for the items that they send in these subscriptions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this box and check out the contents. All right, so here are two different subscriptions. Let's take a look at the seed bead variety first. And I'll give you a few of the details that I have. With this one, you will get size 11-0 seed beads. They won't all be the same brand, so keep that in mind. But from my initial inspection, these look like nice quality beads, like Toho, for example. And you'll get a collection every month of 8 different colors, 10 grams each of the seed beads. You're welcome to sign up for 1 month, which right now is $18.99 plus shipping and applicable taxes monthly, but the price goes down 5% if you opt to be billed quarterly, or 10% off if you opt for their 6-month subscription option. We do have an insert too. This one goes along with the Seed Bead Club. It says, "Surprise, we hope you love this month's seed bead color choices for your subscription box as much as we do. For August, we were inspired by the late summer heat and desire to spend as much time in the water as possible." So with that being said, let's take a look at our selection. I want to note that the ones I received did not come labeled, so we don't have specific brands or color names listed on each of these bags. So keep that in mind as far as specifics of what you receive. I'm sure you can reach out to the owner of Beads to Live By and find out more of those details. But we have generous quantities here in each of these bags, and I do like the fact that we have another 11-0 seed bead subscription. That is a reasonable cost for uniform beads in a curated variety. Great way to bulk up your stash of these, and it's such a common size that we use all the time in beadwork in many different applications. But first we have this bag. It contains a selection, it looks like, of a lined seed bead. The outside is like a crystal clear, and you get this sort of caramelly deep brown color that shows up inside. So overall, a neutral and kind of a shiny metallic lining as well. Next is this opaque variety in another neutral. This is a very sandy tone in a light beige, giving us another neutral to go with some of the brighter colors that we'll look at. Next is this champagne-like color with a luster finish. Got sort of that iridescence that you can see showing up on the outside of the bead. And already I like the variety of the different types of seed beads that we're getting. We're not getting all opaque or all matte, for example. We've gotten all different types of finishes in this color palette. Up next is this sort of antique golden color. It's got a matte finish and brings us more of this toned down yellowish color to the mix. And getting into our other 4 bags where we have a lot of different types of turquoise, we have this gorgeous one, another matte and frosty finish of these greenish turquoise beads that appear to be a transparent variety but have that matte and frosty coating. Our next bag, this might be one of my favorite ones that we have in the set. It's like a sapphire transparent blue lined with a minty green that gives these an overall turquoise appearance. And you can see some of the light coming through in the areas where the glass is more transparent around the outside. Bag number 7 contains a deep transparent turquoise color with a luster finish, a little bit of that rainbow effect on the outside of these beads. And then the 8th package containing this gorgeous opaque sort of minty green, very light pastel turquoise color to round out this month's selection. Wonderful color combination and choices, I think, and great for seed beaters too, if maybe that's all you like to use. How fun is that to get a curated palette of colors that all come together as a surprise in your mailbox every month? And you really should look at it as a surprise, maybe something to help inspire you to come up with something new in a palette that you didn't choose, and be open-minded with the fact that you don't have all the specifics labeled out for you on each of these bags, and that the brands could vary from selection to selection. But overall, these are very high quality looking seed beads that I would be happy to use within precision bead weaving work. I do plan to share this subscription for the next few months at least, so we'll be able to see a number of these packages over time. Now let's take a look at our next subscription. This is the vintage button selection that you can get every month. I'm covering up the little coupon code that they have, but they have provided a coupon code you can use on items at their shop, which is a nice little bonus. Now, because these are vintage buttons, I'm sure every one is going to be a little bit different depending on what is available at the time. So this is an example of the types of things that you may receive. Keep that in mind every month in the button subscription. That'll be a total surprise. And this one is the same exact price point as the seed bead. So $18.99 is the starting point, going down a little bit from there if you sign up for longer periods of time. So let's take a look at our 8 buttons. This is the first one that we see bagged up. A swirly design on a glossy black, a little bit of silver metallic that highlights that swirly shape. And then there is a look at the back of that where you could fasten that to your beadwork. And keep in mind there's more that you can do with these types of buttons besides using them just as really interesting and unique clasps. For example, you can use some of them in bead embroidery projects. If you like to do that sort of craft with your beads, you can use them as focal pieces and pendants. And sometimes the different sizes and shapes lend themselves to different things. For example, here's the second one that is a lot larger and a lot different from the first one. And let's go ahead and open this one up. We have this really interesting butterfly design that is sort of riveted on the top of this button in a antique bronze sort of color with a black background. And this is something that is very large and would lend itself more to, I would think, a pendant or a focal component, not a button clasp. Just to give you an example, there's the look at the back of that. And here is our next variety that we're going to check out up close. That is lovely. I am really partial to these sort of check glass vintage style buttons like this. This one's got the opaque white glass as a base and the silver wash that really highlights all of those special details that show up in that flourish spiral design. And there's a look at the back of this one. And I went ahead and took the rest of them out of their bag so I can just show you what they look like one after the other. And this is the 4th one, I'm guessing, in what is supposed to be a dog. I'm thinking those are like the 2 ears and all the hair in this light purplish tone. It's got a white wash over the top and then some quirky little green eyes and maybe a reddish collar. I'm not really sure, but there is a look at the back of that one. I'm just going to go ahead and say this is my favorite one from the mix that I can see. This one's got a jet black background and this electric violet metallic shine that you can really see popping off the surface of the bead as you move it under the light. And it's also kind of dimensional in some areas. Here's a look at the back, just a black base. Up next, we have a bell, and these are all very, very unique, and you can tell that they are a vintage selection. This one has some of that grayish purple glass with golden brown accents at the top there and around the bottom lip of the bell, and then you can see that it's got that black accent there to give it some dimension, as if you can see the inside. And then there's a look at the back of this one. Next is this smaller button. It's got that table cut glass effect where it's flat on the top, smooth and glossy, and then around the edges it's got the rougher cut texture with the metallic wash that really sets that black off. And it's sort of a trillion shape with those three sides. There's a look at the back of that one. And then our final and eighth button in this selection is another one of these with the beautiful metallic, showing off the details in the glass at the base, which is this vibrant shade of blue where the hole is located back there, and a lot of iridescence and shine that you can see on the surface. And I think that is a really unique subscription. Having something like that for the vintage buttons, there's just so many different varieties of them out there, but not that many of each. So it's really kind of a special thing to add to your collection when you need something for just the right piece, or to inspire a piece on its own, really. So these are the two brand new subscriptions, and from what I understand, there may be other types coming in the future, but for now you can choose from either the 11/0 seed beads and or the vintage buttons, and this is an example of the types of things that you could expect. Very excited to see what's to come in the future months and to see how these selections differ from one month to the next, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to check out all the details about their subscriptions on their website. Once again, I'll leave that right down below the video. And you'll get more information about shipping and the cost of that depending on your location as you go through the checkout process. I want to thank the owner of Beads to Live By reaching out and letting me know about these new subscription offerings, because I love to support other small businesses and I love to spread the word about new beading subscriptions. So I hope you all enjoyed checking out these new options on the market through the curated collections. And feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these subscriptions or anything else you'd like to say. I love to hear from you, and I'm sure the owner would love to hear all about it as well. I look forward to seeing what projects are provided for us based on the month's materials and hope to bring that to you, if not in the next finished jewelry update, perhaps in the next unboxing that I do for Beads to Live By. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed checking everything out, and feel free to share the video with your other beading friends. That's all I have this time. I hope to see you again real soon. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.